Libra 6. Ideals of a man abundantly crystallized. The ideals that we have in life represent our values. So before we can crystallize them into our life situations, our circumstances, our life, facts of the matter, we have to have them. We have to have principles to live by. We have to have ideals. And to develop these principles and ideals inevitably means looking at someone else's, a range of different versions of that, and to make a decision about which of them, which package, a bit from here and a bit from there, which package of ideals and principles we want to crystallize, to bring into form, to coalesce into something firm, which becomes the foundation of our lives. Now, in this practice of looking around to see who else we might want to copy and model ourselves upon, we get pulled into certain conversations, certain relationships, and opportunities arise. And if we fail to grasp those opportunities that offer us possibilities of developing furtherment towards our ideals, well, that absence of grasping, that amounts to a self-betrayal. We have to take the plunge sometimes and move in a certain direction. Because if we don't move in a certain direction, not only do we not progress, which is bad enough, shall we say, but also we just don't know what our direction is. We don't choose a direction in life. That means we go around in circles, or we stagnate, or we don't actually have a chance of realizing who we are. We don't get to realize that. We don't become aware of it. And that's that amounts to escapism, really. Some people have this sense of their principles and their ideals being theoretical, philosophical, and yet they don't behave accordingly. They don't walk their talk. And actually, I'm saying some people, I'm talking about most people. They would say, yes, I'm this, that, or the other. I believe in love. I believe in fairness and justice. I believe in telling the truth. And they would really believe this stuff. They would think that it's enough to speak of it. But it's not. If you just speak of it, if you just think that they're ideals of some importance to you, but you don't do anything about it, then it's just an escapist behavior. You're just living a lie. If your ideals are real, then you have to do something about making them manifest in the world. And of course that's a challenge, and of course that's examined. You will be examined to see whether or not you're true to your principles. And if you are, then you move a given direction. And if you're not, then kind of move in another direction, and you then get drawn into a world which is ill-defined, confusing, lived with other people that can't keep their word and don't know the difference between what's real and what's escapism. But if you actually can pass the examination of life and stick true to your ideals, even when it costs you something, then you move in a direction which your soul has chosen for you. I've met 1,000 people in my life, all of whom have got these high ideals. And of those, how many actually kept to them when the going got rough? How many stuck to their principles even though it cost them money, opportunity? Not so very many, really. It's an exceptional person who would stick to their ideals. If you don't stick to your own ideals, then you will end up following someone else's. And if we think about this in terms of vision and ambition, for example, if you follow your ideals, then you're following your vision. If you don't, then you end up following your ambition. And that ambition is directed towards what amounts to, in the end, a disappointment. You don't think it will, but it does. It always does. Those people that pursue fame and fortune, they want to be rich and famous. I don't get the impression that they're happy when they get there. They're overwhelmed with lots of things in life and pleasure, but joy, deep, peaceful serenity of joy, I just don't get that impression from most people who've actually got a lot of money and so on. But somebody who's actually reliably good, they stick, you know who they are, they stick to who they are, they stick to what they do, they're trustworthy, and they've worked it out. With or without money, with or without fame and fortune, these people seem to be the joyful ones, in my impression. In every particular moment, in every scenario, there is a path that we can walk. We can go through every situation in life to our own benefit, consistent with our own principles. And yet, the way forward is very often obscure, confused, hidden. However, it is there. So we have to trust that it's there and use the imagination in order to work out how to make that so. We're not really given an easy time working out how to live well. That requires us to be constantly imaginative, constantly in faith, constantly visionary, constantly stubborn about not breaking our principles. It's a constant process which is demanding. However, that's the spiritual path. It's a demanding path. And actually, the results of that are evidenced by abundance. That's the meaning in the title. The man's ideals are abundantly crystallized. It's not really proof of success to crystallize your ideals unless you have that feeling of abundance. And we see that fame and fortune, like lots of money, is not meant here by the word abundance. If you've got lots of money, typically you want more. If you're really, really important, typically you want to be more so. If you've got 10 million, 100 million followers on YouTube or whatever, you want to double it. There's this urgency to move to a higher level of something, which is actually not sustainable. You can't ever end that quest. Whereas somebody who actually understands that enough is a feast, they experience abundance. So abundance is not measured by quantity at all, it's measured by quality. If you have all your needs met and your life is rich and good, that's abundance. Now that comes about when you consistently follow your ideals and stick to your principles without breaking them ever. That's what gives rise to abundance.